Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Star Flames. If you're new here, be sure to go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell, and join the family. Now guys, in this video, we're gonna talk about Miss Kimmy Cakes because Kim Kardashian is pushing for Philip Esfromes to not be prosecuted again after judges are insisting that this man goes back to jail. Now, if you're not aware, this man Philip Esfromes, it is said that this man has over 30 nursing homes in the United States, all across the country, right? And he has some more medical facilities. Now, it's been alleged that what this man would often do is to bribe doctors to refer patients to his facilities. Listen, the list goes dark. Have you ever heard about that MLK Ultra thing? It is being accused of it as well. Now, I don't know if you guys have followed Candace Owens when Candace Owens said that the lithium, I believe the chemical is called lithium, that they have given to Britney Spears, it wasn't meant for her to get it for that period of time, right? No, what happens is that when you're on it for an extended period, it alters your personality and you can never ever be the same again because it leaves permanent damage to your brain and other organs of your body. So Candace Owens is saying that people are saying that it's not Britney Spears, but it is Britney Spears. But why she may appear to be somewhat different, it's because of the amount of lithium they have given her over the period of time. Now, I'm hearing that this, man, Philip Esfromes, his facilities were involved in these practices, allegedly, so that these patients could stay in these homes, because he has nursing home, and I believe they said 20 over 30 nursing homes and over 20 psychiatric facility. So they would just like oh Lord, they would just like, according to the reports, he would pay, doctors and stuff, misdiagnose people. How do you get these facilities to keep running and to give him money? Well, they would just give people medication to, alter their personality, allegedly. Then he would rack up some big bucks, right? So I just wanted to explain that to you guys so you have an understanding of some of the allegations that are being brought against this man who Kim wants to be, Kim doesn't want him to go back to jail. I don't know why she's fighting for a case like this. If you remember when Megyn Kelly said that Kim is so busy fighting for all criminals to be released from prison, this is one of those examples. But let's talk about this report, right? So, Kim Kardashian tweeted a few days ago, Philip Esfromes was convicted of 20 charges equaling $170K. The judge then used those charges along with charges a jury found him not guilty of to sentence him. So that's basically what she tweeted a few days ago. Now, Kim is also saying, no, the DOJ is trying to send him back to prison for the same crimes the judge sentenced him on. Please read the story and share. Now, the judge sentenced him on the crime. Donald Trump pardoned him, and he only did 4.5 years. After that, he was released, but the DOJ wants him behind bars because the crimes that he committed, they are heinous acts. Now, let's get into the article, because I did that part in case, someone may not have, that attention span to tune into all of the details. Now, according to reports, Kim Kardashian launches furious defense of Florida businessman who faces being re-prosecuted for $1 billion Medicare fraud. No, this is the biggest medical fraud in America's history. And you're telling me that this man has committed the biggest healthcare fraud in America's history, and this is who Kim believes should not be held accountable, because guess what? The moment Donald Trump pardoned his sentence, he has been a good law-abiding citizen. So the crimes that he committed before does not matter. They don't count. I believe that's basically what she is saying, right? Now, according to report, it says Philip Esfromes orchestrated one of the biggest Medicare scheme in U.S. history. He was convicted in 2019 and sentenced to 20 years in prison. Esfromes was pardoned by former President Donald Trump with others in 2022. So I believe it was either 200 other people, right? There were other 200 other people who were a part of this sentencing. But let's continue with this report as to what it is saying. Kim Kardashian has launched a furious defense of Florida businessman who faces re-prosecution for orchestrating a $1 billion Medicare fraud scheme after his 20-year sentence was commuted by former President Trump. Philip Esfromes, 52, was convicted in 2019 of 20 criminal counts, including conspiracy to defraud the United States, paying and receiving kickbacks, right? So what do you consider as kickbacks? Let's explain what kickbacks is for you guys in a bit, right? So kickbacks basically is money that he pays to, these healthcare practitioners, like, oh, recommend this person to my facility, say they have this condition and my facility is known to, have success in treating patients with this condition, when that's just definitely not the case, right? So it basically was charged for paying and receiving kickbacks, money laundering, bribing, obstruction of justice, and hit with a 20-year prison sentence. His $1.3 billion Medicare fraud scheme was described by prosecutors as one of the biggest Medicare fraud cases in U.S. history. This and then because he's coming out with this entire facade of, oh, I'm a better guy, I'm giving back to charity, I know care about people, can believe that he should not be held accountable. But let's continue. The former healthcare executive only served 4.5 years of his 2-decade prison sentence and was released December 22nd, 2022, along with up to 200 other convicts whose sentences were commuted in the final days of Trump's presidency. If you guys have ever heard the saying, money talk and bullshit walks, I'm not going to say it out loud for you guys, but I believe that we're all smart enough to understand what happened right here, right? Listen, all these criminals, they're covering each other's asses because they have to stick together. Just saying, right? Not pointing any fingers, not calling anyone's name, just saying. But let's continue with this article. On Saturday, Kardashian took to Twitter calling his case prosecutorial misconduct and encouraged her supporters to read and share Esfromes' story. Now the DOJ is trying to send him back to prison for the same crimes the judge sentenced him on, right? So she's saying people should share the story because there's no way this man deserves to be behind bars. But someone who spots on a police officer. Have you guys heard the story of the black guy who spat on a police officer? Yeah, he got 70 years for that. Is Kim rallying for his freedom? Heck no. Well, at least not yet. Will she? I don't think so, right? Because everything has an agenda. But let's continue with this report, right? It says Philip, I don't know why I keep calling this guy Phillips. Maybe he screws people over so much he's like a Phillips screwdriver. But let's continue. Philip Esfromes was convicted of 20 charges equaling $170,000. The judge then used those charges along with charges a juror found him not guilty of and sentenced him to 20 years in prison and $43 million in restitution and criminal assets forfeiture. Now, you might be asking, why would a judge overrule the jury decisions? Well, if the judge believed that the jury is being bribed, and if the judge believes and sees where the jury is being sentenced, and there were clear evidence that the judge can make a decision without the jury, the judge is going to go ahead and make that decision. And this is what this judge did in this case. It's not illegal. It's not the first time it has happened. Your Honor is aware that he or she had a responsibility. and they did exactly what needed to be done. So when Kim is telling the public that the judge decided to sentence him because the jury found him not guilty, not because the jury found someone not guilty doesn't mean that they're not guilty, because if there's strong evidence which the judge was able to see and examine, then there's reason for his ass to be behind bars, right? But let's continue. Philip served 4.5 years in prison, much of it in isolation in order to avoid abuse by guards and other prisoners while observing his devout religious beliefs. Kardashian tweeted, "Oh my God, so you're telling me that that black man that spot on the police officer, he can now say that he's a Christian and his life has changed, so he deserves." Just imagine someone getting 70 freaking years for, well, I'm not saying that. Let me make it clear. It's not right for anyone to spit on anyone, but you know that that is definitely, excessive. That's an excessive punishment. I would say 5 years, 3 years is just, because I understand that you cannot just spot on someone like that because that's a crime. But 70 years? God damn it, man. That's way excessive. But let's continue with Miss Kimmy Cakes in this case. Now it says, after hearing about the prosecutorial misconduct in the case, Trump gave Philip a commutation and let him come home to his family. He has focused on giving back and has been a law-abiding citizen, devotingly family man. He's going to give back because he knows that what happened shouldn't have happened in the first place. In no way his crimes should have been pardoned, right? So, listen, Philip knows what's up. He knows they were coming back for his ass, and he knew that it's gonna be a tough one for him not to go back behind bars. But let's continue. So Esfromes had operated a network of nursing homes and assisted living facility in South Florida and was found guilty of paying kickbacks and bribes to doctors and administrators so they would refer patients to his businesses. FBI agent described Esfromes as a man driven by almost unbounded greed. That is also a characteristics that is often used to define those drug dealers like El Chapo, the people who does what needs to be done to ensure that they get the money that they want. Health and life was never taken into consideration. Well, actually, that's the last thing that was taken into consideration. Now, it says Trump at the time claimed the move had been supported by a number of former attorney general, and said Esfromes was ailing but did not specify his health condition. Listen, I am here hailing from all of this mess as well, because this is quite a lot. Now, the White House had issued a statement at the time his 20-year sentence was commuted by former Trump. While in prison, Mr. Esfromes, who is 52, has been devoted to prayer and repentance and is in his decline in health, the White House said in a statement. God is not sleeping though. Isn't it funny? But honestly, does he have a decline in health situation? We don't know for a fact because they cannot comment on it, and there's no information about whatever decline in health situation he has going on. Now, this is a lot of information, but we're going to leave it here for now. Chances are we may come back to this report because it's going to be really interesting to see if Mr. Philip Esfromes is able to escape the legal system. And if he does, chances are the other people behind bars for petty crimes maybe can, try to get some of his connection to get out of jail. That's just as I see it, right? But I want to hear from you guys because it's really, concerning. I really want to hear from you. While you're at it, give this video a big thumbs up, share if you care, and see you all next time. Bye, guys.